Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name is Casey Willis, and I am a 2023 Goodie Nation Tech Storytelling Fellow. And you are listening to Prequel, Origin Stories and Inflection Points. So, for those of you who don't know, Goodie Nation is an organization that exists to bridge the relationship gap between diverse founders, founders in the social startup sector, folks who have amazing promise, amazing companies, amazing things that they're doing, and may just need help bridging those relationships. Now, when we think about entrepreneurship and startups, the first thing that comes to mind for a lot of people is like money. Like, oh, founders just need like money. Yeah, that's what they need. And yes, that is true. But the path to getting there isn't always that simple. And so we at Goodie Nation are a community of mentors, coaches. Some are entrepreneurs, some are just really champions of helping startups grow. And we work to help bridge connections and, again, just help these incredible founders reach their full potential. And so on today's episode of Prequel, this is a continuation of our Google for Startups intro series. We've met some amazing founders already, and we have two more that we would like to introduce you today. So let's jump into that. So starting off, we have Erika. Erika, why don't you tell the people your origin story?
Okay, so my name is Erika Byers. I am co-founder of Teamwork Healthcare, as well as Teamwork Technology, which is the technology side of our ABA services company. My origin story, I think it kind of started in a couple different places in my life, but I will stick to the part that was the most transformative for me. So I was working at a charter school in Brooklyn. I was a director of pre-K. I have a background in education, and particularly special education, and working mostly with early childhood education. And so I was working at this charter school, and I was really having a hard time because I just was not in a role where I could really use the skills that I knew that I had, it's really challenging being in a place where you feel like you're not able to do what you're best at. And that's kind of the role that I was in, just because of some different logistical changes that happened at the time that I got hired. And so I remember thinking, I got into this field to really help people who wanted to be helped. And I was just kind of getting door slammed in my face, just from people who just really didn't want the help that I was able to provide. And so there was a lot of restructuring at the organization at the time. And I also found out that I was pregnant. So I was like, well, I guess I'll stick here for a little bit longer. And then I actually got terminated when I was 9 months pregnant with my now 5-year-old twins. And so around that time, I was really just like, okay, well, the change is going to come one way or another. So I happened to receive a cold call from my now co-founder. His name is Rudy, and he was looking for someone to start up this company with. And he needed someone with my sort of clinical expertise. And so this doesn't happen in 2023, but Erika Byers in 2018 answered a phone number from an unknown caller, and I agreed to meet him for lunch. And we chat about what we would like to see happen in the field. I had a lot of experience working in the field. He had more experience on the financial side of just the field of applied behavior analysis. And we came together with a shared vision for how we really wanted to support families, primarily in New York City, primarily families who didn't have access to a lot of money. And we wanted to be able to make these ABA services affordable for them. So we came together, we started Teamwork Healthcare in 2019, and that was our services company. And then fast forward until 2021, I believe, we really started to notice that there were a lot of challenges with scaling our company, with our manual processes for kind of onboarding waitlist families and as well bringing on different therapists to work with our clients. And so we developed a proof of concept really for a managed marketplace that we wanted to develop. We got some Series A funding, some seed funding, and we were able to build out a product team. We went live with our product internally in February 2021. In February 2022. And then by October 2022, we started to have some beta testers, which were other companies testing on our product. And we finally got some tech revenue in Q1 of this year. So really excited. It was a lot that took me from where I was to where I am now. Super grateful for the journey. But at the time, it's funny when you think about your origin story, when you think about what brings you to the point where you make that shift. For some people, they have this moment where they're just like, I'm going to do this. And they wake up that morning and they set out on that journey. And for me, I needed to be nudged a little bit. And yeah, that's why I'm here now.
So I have to say, we've heard lots of different origin stories about how people, found their partners and their founders, and oh, it was my college roommate, or oh, we worked together and we left the company. I think this might be the first I got an unknown number and was like, yeah, I'll go meet you somewhere.
Yeah, yep.
I mean, that's how would you, I guess, looking back on that story now, how would you like tell yourself back then, like, yeah, this is a thing that I should be doing?
It's so funny because I am a planner. I am super cautious. I don't even answer unknown numbers now, but looking back, it really was fate because that's just not who I am. And I was at that time. Looking back, it was a little insane, right? To be like, sure, and I didn't have any promise of income right away, right? Like as founders, we put in our sweat equity. So we didn't get a single dollar for years, but I still agreed to embark on this journey with him. And it's funny because, I say all the time, like we weren't friends. So we started off as business partners, but I think that also helps our dynamic because then I'm not so concerned about whether or not I'm going to hurt his feelings. We can be honest about, just like where we stand, where the company is, where we're going, because it's not like we're besties who've known each other since we were 10. No, we met going into this for this purpose, and it creates a nice boundary, I think.
That's real. That's real. I think a business relationship is still a very distinct type of relationship. And so that's very interesting. Cool. So, Erika, how can people find out more about you or Teamwork Healthcare?
Definitely our website. And we do have an Instagram. We actually have 2 Instagram accounts for one for our technology and one for our services business. But you can go to our website to find out more about both. It's www.teamworkcares.com.
Very cool. Well, yes, thank you so much for sharing your origin story with us. And next, our next founder who we're going to hear from is Juan. Juan, what is your founder origin story?
Hello, everyone. Amazing story, Erika. Thank you very much for sharing. Glad to hear. Okay, my origin story, I'm Juan Manuel Barrero. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Lazo. Lazo is an all-in-one finance, legal, and fundraising SaaS platform for early-stage founders. And my origin story started probably in that inflection point was when I was 17. There were a lot of signs that I can see from today. I'm 39 right now, so more than 20 years have been through all this process. But when I was 17, my father, I did a Rotary Youth Exchange program in Wisconsin. I grew up in a small town in Argentina. And I moved to Wisconsin when I was 17. It was my first time taking a plane, first time leaving the country, first time flying, and moving to another country. I didn't speak any English. I didn't know anything about the culture. So that year gave me like more than learning the language that probably I was when I was 17. Okay, I wanted to learn English now. So I more than English I learned. That year gave me like all the energy, all the motivation to become someone one day, because I got to discover kind of the world, because I went from a small town in Argentina to the United States, and I got to see people from all over the world, like other exchange students that I made friends. Also, I made a lot of friends in high school. I did this senior year, so I said, okay, I wanted to go back and visit these people again, or just go and visit my friends from Japan, from Sweden, from Denmark, from Germany. So how I can do that, because my family never traveled in their lives, so no one did it. So I don't come from like a family that had that opportunity. So I went back to Argentina. I said I have to study hard, and I have to be different. I have to just put myself out of like try to always be the best of my version. So I study hard. So since 17, probably I start hustling my entire life. I hustle for university. I never thought I was the smartest person in the room. I always thought that I was the most not stupid, but the person with less knowledge in the room. So I always effort myself to get more knowledge. So I always really study hard. I was the one hustling, organizing everything in high school, in university, all the group friends. I also work a lot in NGOs, because since then I started to have this like, okay, I had this opportunity, I have to give back now. Someone gave me that opportunity of just living abroad for 1 year, learning a lot about other cultures and other language. So I wanted to give back. So I always have this mindset of I have the opportunity, so I have to give the opportunity to others. I have to help others, because I was lucky to have this opportunity and to see this. So I got involved in many NGOs in my life, and after like always hustling and doing, I became kind of the president of different NGOs in my life, and also create two companies, because I was like I didn't want to just to work with other people, because I was having those kind of evaluation every 6 months in those jobs in my beginnings. So I decided to become an entrepreneur. I've been an entrepreneur for 12 years, and 2 years ago I moved to the US, because I couldn't like find that way of having impact in my life. I was always looking for this impact that I look in NGOs, in building companies. So I decided to move to the US, because I thought it was like the opportunity to me to think bigger and to have more impact in what I was doing. So I decided to move to the US to create Lazo. And after scaling two services company, building two successful companies in Latin America, now I feel, and also working with different NGOs, and now I feel that I really can have impact with what I'm building Lazo, because the opportunity that we have and what we have achieved in only 2 years, serving more than 1,500 startups, and of course, building like a real business with 45 people, having 2 million in ARR, and just starting in 2 years, and having now the opportunity to help hundred of thousands of entrepreneurs around the world who needs to become more VC ready, how we say it, with the problem that we are solving, because 9 out of 10 startups fail. So if those founders struggle to raise capital and they don't have time and they don't have money and they don't have a clue how to meet institutional investor requirements, they need help because they didn't have that opportunity to have all that. So basically Lazo is creating this all-in-one legal, finance, and fundraising SaaS platform to help them to succeed and also to spend less money in lawyers, spend less money in fractional CFOs and CPAs, because what they need is just to focus on scaling their business, building a product, knowing their customers, and they don't have to spend a lot of money and a lot of time in trying to figure out which are the best contracts that they need to celebrate, or how to do the financials, or how to do the bookkeeping or the taxes. So we are helping today a lot of founders, and we are hoping to help more founders and becoming the to-go solution for early stage founders, giving them the peace of mind just to focus on their business, and also giving them the opportunity to be VC ready and more sharp when they are presenting their information to the investors. So that is our mission today, and I'm very happy to be part of this podcast.
Very cool. So, a startup helping startups. My question for you, I mean, this has been a weird year, right? For founders, for startups, for small business, really for everyone. And so, what advice do you have for fellow startup founders, fellow business owners as we are heading into Q4 of this wacky year?
Yeah, as you mentioned, like VC activity has slowed down in the last 18 months, and investors now are more like looking for diligence and more deep diligence, and also looking for unit economics, more solid unit economics. So I think the opportunity to founders is just like for our business model, which is more another fundamental of our business model, is like founders need to structure the data from the beginning and start measuring everything from the beginning. So but they don't have the time and they don't have the skills. They know about what the product they're building, they know probably the market about the building, but they don't need to know about their unit economics and what a B2B SaaS needs to be measuring, what a fintech or edtech needs to be measuring. So what we are giving those founders is that those standard metrics, and structuring that data from the beginning in a very cost-effective and integrated ecosystem, solving everything in one place, so they can really focus on their business. And when they are going to talk to investors, they have all the information in place. So my recommendation is just to start building that data from the beginning, because once you get to Series A and those investors are going to ask for more deep understanding of those numbers, you won't be able to build those numbers. So that is what happened in this environment of VC activity, I believe.
Great advice, really great advice. So, Juan, how can people find out more about you and Lazo?
Well, our website is www.lazo.us, and also I'm very active on LinkedIn, Twitter, or Instagram. Both the companies and myself, I I do a lot of those social media.
Great. Well, yes, thank you both for being another set of amazing guests on Prequel. And for those of you who just heard their stories, I mean, this is what we're talking about, bridging relationship gaps, right? You just heard the origin stories of two founders who you may not have heard of before, but you know them now. And so if anything that they said resonated with you, it takes what, 1 minute, 2 minutes to send an email to someone, to send a LinkedIn message, to say, hey, like I heard this really interesting company. Y'all should like look them up. You know, it just takes no time at all to potentially make a connection for a founder that could be that thing that takes them to the next level. And so, again, this has been another amazing episode of Prequel Origin Stories. Thank you so much to my guests. Thank you so much for listening. And as the Goodie Nation founder, Joey Womack, always says, stay magnetic and outwork yesterday. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you.